No problem.
This better?
Uh, no, that's fine. You're fine before. I wanted to see if we can
Okay.
get some better. Okay, so go ahead and start talking. I'm gonna keep setting up. So, what did you want to talk about today, Chris?
Um,
You mentioned something about the cluster bomb left and bad takes on Ukraine. So why don't you
that's
kick us off with that? What is the cluster bomb left?
the Clusterbomb Left is a group of people who are usually socialists, are claim to be. Most of them, I'd say, are in DSA. They really support one side, and in like a war like this, Ukraine is not socialist, so they're going out of the way to defend it with a government that's kind of got not it's not a Nazi government, but it's a Nazi infected government, I'd say. And the cluster bomb left just wants the United States and NATO to send literally cluster bombs, weapons with depleted uranium, which cause massive cancer rates up everywhere it's been used, like in Iraq and Afghan, former Yugoslavia. But yeah, so that's them. They have bad takes, and then there's the other side of people that support Russia in it, also bad. But the cluster bomb left really should know better. That's all. If I can make it quick.
Chat says often they are followers of our Lord and Savior Vaush.
Oh God. Yeah. If you're listening to Vaush, stop. But really, I would really recommend people not listen to Vaush about anything. He was a big anyway, no, we're not talking about Vaush, but the cluster bomb left is just, if you're a socialist, you're supposed to be anti-war. You want the war to stop. This is working class people from one side and other working class people being pushed onto a battlefield by politicians and businessmen and everything, and that's bad. So the solution, what they should do, we encourage is the soldiers, right? They turn the guns around the other way to the people that send them off to go die. That's there. That's what socialists should be advocating. This guy, his name was Lennon. Not the Beatles guy, but he was great, and he advocated doing something just like this. Once again, if you pretend to be a communist or a socialist, maybe stick with the tradition because it's rooted in Marxism. But that's I got some old fashioned like that. Yeah.
Right, and where did the cluster? So why do we call them cluster bomb lefts? It's just because the left uncritically and wholeheartedly supports sending cluster bombs and depleted uranium. Don't forget that part too.
Yeah.
To a country that's full of Nazis and landmines.
Yeah.
There's obviously no downside to this. There's obviously
No, no, those weapons will not end up anywhere bad. We won't
no,
see
they,
Patriot Front or some other American domestic terrorists. They're not going to get any weapons at all to them.
yeah,
Like,
they won't end up on like the black market or anything like they already have.
no.
That's a little oopsie there. Okay, so we'll put a call out to some of the best takes we've seen regarding regarding this fight. One of the best and most incredible. Honestly, this is the funniest one. This is a tangentially related. Well, we'll get to Canada's Nazi problem in a second.
Oh God, we're going to be fighting the Nazis, but they. Oh wow.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Oh
we
my
covered
God.
this.
Oh God,
We
this
covered
one.
this.
Yeah, this is a.
We covered
Oof.
this last week. A little bit. Canada's Nazi problem. So for those who missed last week's stream, it's up on YouTube. But yeah, we just gave a massive standing ovation to an SS officer, and no one knew about it until after everyone in this parliament was seagiling him, basically.
Nobody has. You guys don't have Google in Canada. It's tough. It's
Yeah, no, nobody knew, especially not our finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, who is the granddaughter of an SS newspaper publisher in Ukraine. She has, I think she has like a PhD in Ukrainian history. She speaks Ukrainian. She's well connected to the Ukrainian community. She's lived in Ukraine for a number of years, and oh no, there's no way she could have known this, obviously.
Right, come on. That maybe she heard of Ukraine or something, but I mean, World War II was very complicated, It was the Nazis and the Soviet Union. and no one else. That was like the two sides in the war. But, there was a third and fourth. Now, I'm guessing there's a third side in this war that this article is going to prove, right? Because I want to know.
Well,
one side was led by Adolf Hitler. And,
apparently there's a lot of gray area.
yeah, the SS. That's interesting. I'm ready. I felt this article didn't really explain the SS. It really didn't mean like it was a.
Why were they bad?
Together foreign volunteers, as if that made a difference in conscripts. There's a difference between being conscripted into the German army and volunteering for the 16 Waffen SS. What's the name of the Galicia division?
It's the 14th Waffen SS division, also known as the 1st Ukrainian division, also known as the Galician division.
The guy that they honored literally referred to 41 to 43 as the best years of his life. Those were the best years of his life.
Yeah.
The Canadian government and my government here in the US was fighting his side, but now he's the good guy. And the people that were fighting the Nazis, it's, oh my God. I'm not equating Russia with the Soviet Union, by the way. Don't get confused, but holy moly.
We can discuss that later. So yeah, the article goes, everyone knows a lie can make it halfway around the world before the truth has even got its boots on. And the ongoing turmoil over Canada's parliament recognizing former SS trooper Jaroslav Hunka highlights one of the most important reasons why. Something that's untrue but simple is far more persuasive than a complicated, nuanced truth, a major problem for Western democracies trying to fight disinformation and propaganda by countering it with the truth. And one reason why fact-checking and debunking are only of limited use for doing so.
Are. Getting the facts right about remember how I mentioned there were two sides, right? I mean, you really have to understand there was a third side to this war, and he was on it. He was not. Now look at that uniform. Now that photo, that looks like a German Nazi. It looks like a Nazi division in that photo. Are you going to tell me he's in that photo?
I don't think he was on anybody's side but himself. Honestly, I believe him.
As the only, I just need to interrupt you guys. As the only Canadian in this, I want everyone please put your hands together. We actually have Mr. Hunka in the chat right now.
We do. Great. Finally. Am I supposed to clap for a Nazi war criminal? Wait, I'm sorry.
I mean, he's fighting Russia, and Russia in 1941 is obviously the same as Russia today. So there is literally no difference. So yes, obviously, So Jaroslav Hunka, your $650 million check is it's in the mail. We're going to send you 50 Canadian-made Leopard tanks that will. They'll keep your troops alive for several hours on the front. So,
what kind of flags are we going to put on these tanks? I like the 40s in Ukraine. How about we put a few flags on it? I don't have any material blue and yellow. Do you have any other flags? Maybe we could put up which might represent
Cupcake Star
movement.
Cupcake Star says, I love how pro-Ukrainian media literally can't stop taking pictures of Ukrainian soldiers with fascist patches. I literally saw one big-ass swastika and libs were saying maybe he's just a devout Buddhist. Yes, obviously there's devout white Buddhists in Eastern Ukraine fighting Russia right now.
They are, and it's bad that you're making fun of his belief system. And I know it looks like a swan. No, it's not. He's just a devoted Hindi. And the fact that this program attacks people's religious beliefs while in a Nazi battalion group with the Black Sun, which is also Hindi as well, and the totem and the Death's Head logo. I mean, look.
Maybe he's just a pirate. Maybe he likes pirates.
Yeah, the liberal media
you don't know.
Not picking up on that, is it? Huh. There you go, mainstream media. Who they fooled? Get out of here.
Okay, I don't know who Jaroslav Hunka actually is, but you're fucking killing me right now.
All right, well, let's go with the article. I'm gonna zip it because now it's.
He might have volunteered.
Right here.
Cupcake Star says, "Look,
Ukrainians.
He might have volunteered for the SS."
Ukrainian flag behind him. I bet these guys are Nazis to you.
Oh yeah, right. No, it's literally that video of the guy in the SS uniform. It's like, yeah, fascist. Excuse me, just because I'm wearing a Nazi uniform doesn't make me a Nazi.
Uniform. Like, what are we doing here? Holy crap! No one could like look at his uniform and see. Like, look at his arm. That's a swastika. Like, huh. Oh my god.
Thank you for yeah. So Cupcake Star also says he might have volunteered for the SS, but there's no way of knowing whether my father, Boris the Jew crusher Shevchenko, was a Nazi. There's no way we could have known that. Anyway, so apparently history is complicated because fighting the USSR at the time didn't necessarily make you a Nazi, just someone who had an excruciating choice over which of these two terror regimes to resist. However, I mean, I don't know, for the vast majority of Ukrainians, to their credit, 4.5 million Ukrainians joined the Red Army and fought fascism. It seemed like a pretty clear fucking choice.
Oh, it's looks we got another puppet Putin over here. Are you a big Putin fan too? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, anyway.
What?
Joking. No, that joke didn't land well. I'm just saying anyone who ever says that Ukrainians fought against fascism, it's obviously all a lie, but nope. I mean, like most Ukrainians fought this crap, you know, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
This guy that the Canada was honoring was the other side.
Also killed Ukrainians.
I know he's in the third side of the war, but
Ukrainians, Jews, Poles, Kazakhs, and Belarusians is what the 14th Waffen SS division actually did. And now we're getting more nuanced takes of like, okay, look, maybe the SS were a bunch of war criminals, but there was a million of them, and not all of them could have physically murdered people themselves.
That's not the point. Like, it's like, no, just because he didn't, like, his organization
oh my God.
was the Nazis.
I'm telling you, I've not read. I haven't read this article, but I could have written it. I literally just read this next paragraph. However, the idea that foreign volunteers and conscripts were being allocated to the Waffen SS rather than the Wehrmacht on administrative rather than ideological grounds is a hard sell for audiences conditioned to believe the SS's primary task was genocide. It literally was. And simple narratives like everybody in the SS was guilty of war crimes are more pervasive because they're much simpler to grasp. So yeah, they don't like simple narratives like everybody in the SS was guilty of war crimes. Yes, they are.
Yes.
They literally, Artorius Rosa points out, they literally volunteered for the job.
This is like in what I hate what this dishonest guy is doing, he's actually thinking that conscripts and Waffen SS are no, they're not. Like, you know, I'll be honest, like you can be conscripted if there was an army marching through, you could be forcibly, like in Ukraine, they could forcibly conscript you. You're going to go fight and we're going to kill you or we're going to shoot your family or something, whatever. That's a conscript. The Waffen SS is like ideological Nazi training. Like you're trained to be a fascist. You have to swear an oath to Adolf Hitler, like not to Germany, but to Hitler. This was what the guy did voluntarily. Like, was the oath like forced? Like, no, this is just dishonest. Oh my God. Oh God. All right. Anyway.
So Canada's enemies have thus latched onto these simple narratives alongside concerned citizens in Canada itself, with the misstep over Hunka being used by Russia and its backers to attack Ukraine, Canada, and each country's association with the other. So yeah, this is obviously a Russian plot. The Russia somehow planted a Nazi in Parliament and made everyone clap.
Like, you brought a guy out, introduced him, and then Russia just goes, oh, hey, you know, they're welcoming a Nazi. And they're like, it's a Russian plot. Like, you did it to yourself. Like, you're the idiot, not Russia. Like, yeah, like, and the Russian government did use this as propaganda. Like, you know, good. Like, you played into the game. Like, they're going to say, we're denazifying Ukraine. And here's the proof. They're literally welcoming a Nazi who fought against and participated in who's, you know, this isn't like, my God, this article is a joke. Oh my God!
Oh no! Yeah, I mean, like this article even caught the ire of Chapo Trap House. Like of all of the shitty like lib podcasts and streamers and stuff, Chapo has like one of the very few with a correct take on Ukraine. And they're like, why are we funding this war? It's assholes on both sides. Like this is such horse shit. We should not be involved in this at all.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh God.
The Sisyphean, Cupcake Star again says the Sisyphean task of choosing between helping carry out the Holocaust or trying to stop the guys responsible.
I mean, but remember, there was a third way. Uncle was the third option.
It's the two red buttons, and the guy's sweating, doesn't know which one to push.
Seriously. Oh my god. Wow.
So, this one says, given Moscow's own history of aggression and atrocities during World War II, such as
atrocities during World War II. Okay.
Such as,
well, I mean, it's war. Bad things happen in war. That's why we're anti-war. We don't want this stuff to happen.
Yeah, but they don't list what atrocities did Moscow. Moscow was literally invaded by Nazis. Like, what were they supposed to do?
Right, and they killed 27 million Soviets. Like, yeah, bad stuff's gonna happen. Like, I hate to break it. Like, I remember, like, I'm old when I was 18 when 9/11 happened. Like, I remember the bloodlust we all had to kill fucking anyone who was like, that was the bloodlust that was turned on, and I could see, that was bad. You kill 27 million people, they're not going to be happy. Like, hey, let's all follow the Geneva Convention with these people. Like, bad stuff. Like, go see that movie. The Soviet Union. I can't think of it. Come and see. You can see the crap.
Oh my god, that's one of those movies. I swear to God, you need to watch it once, and then I can never watch it again.
I know. I felt out of breath. Like, I felt like I was suffocating in certain scenes. It was like just. Holy moly! Yeah.
That's what my profile picture is based off of. Is forget his name, but the general or the sergeant of the platoon, and it's one of my favorite movies. I could watch it multiple times. I'm a psychopath like that.
Well, maybe we should do a movie night on Discord. We haven't done a movie night in ages. If we can get more people, don't forget, folks, join the Discord for all sorts of fun stuff. Do a plug for the Discord there. Just click on the button that says Discord with the backwards K, because I'm a foe. Obviously I'm a Russian agent. Outraged by Nazis in Canada.
Double agent.
Okay, so the article is like, look, even though a lot of Jewish groups are concerned. Understandably,
I know.
It's still more
complicated. Yeah, Jewish groups, settle down. Let me explain to you why having a guy in the Nazi army who was helped to fucking round up Jews during World War II, he's not so bad. Let me explain to you why. That's amazing. All right, well, I'm glad. Let's talk some sense to the Jewish community in Canada. All right, let's explain to him it's all Russia's fault.
So this is a pretty egregious article. Now, thanks. Shout out to Max Wares, whoever you are in Twitch chat. We got here. So I made a call out for some the worst takes you can find on this topic.
Please do. Oh, here we go.
Right. Again, for Eastern Europeans, it wasn't that simple. Mike Gerald Gibbs says, if your options are Stalin or Hitler, you must choose to live under one of them. What would you pick?
Stalin?
You'll pick the one who's less likely to murder you and your family. The answer depended on who you were. Well, I don't know. As Trotskyist, Stalin isn't an ideal option, but yeah, given that or.
But no one would kill me for my ethnicity.
Literally, Hitler.
They wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're Roma, or maybe you're Jewish, or maybe you're a trade union leader." Like a lot of trade unionists, like first they came for the communists, so they kill you.
Yeah, I know
they did that pretty good.
Well, no, I think we should have more nuance when it comes to the poems like that. I mean, like the communists were obviously just as bad at the beginning of World War II.
Oh well, no, yeah.
So anyway, there's a reason the Eastern Front in World War II was fought like so bitterly and horrifically, because it wasn't just a war over economics or anything like that. It was a bloody and brutal war of ideology. They literally believed they were cleansing Europe of Judeo-Bolshevism, which is what they thought was like the greatest stain on human history.
And racial science, like that stuff, that their race was the master race, and all the inferior, like they literally think they were a race above, like Ubermensch kind of stuff.
Like I'll take my chance, like as a Trotskyist, I'll take my chances under Stalin over Hitler.
I think I'll do fine, please.
Although
Like,
apparently, depending on which Marxist-Leninist you talk to, supposedly Trotsky was a Hitler collaborator, obviously.
hand in glove. That's the I was literally told that by like an elderly Stalinist, like, and was a running joke. He's like, like they work hand in glove with the Nazis, and she did it with she did the hand thing too, which I thought was impressive.
Without a shred of evidence.
No, and it's like now. Look, that would be believable in like the 30s, because you can't get the news and media's
Right.
fine. But if you still believe that crap in 2023, you're an idiot. Like that, I'll give credit to people and like you didn't know. Like information was hard to get out there, and
Right.
But now the Soviet archives have been opened. It's there. You can read all the court documents. And
you would think you would think the Soviet Union would have had every motivation to release as many documents as they could when they occupied when they occupied East Germany
because I'm a perfect physical specimen and I'm extremely young.
To find any connection of Trotsky to the Nazis and to fascism. That would have been great for their propaganda purposes, but it wasn't there. And a friend of the show, Doug Green, I'm hoping to get him on soon, literally cornered Grover Furr one time. And we have video evidence of this when he's like, yeah, there's no proof of this. There's nothing written. There is no documentation on this whatsoever. That Trotsky was a Nazi collaborator.
And the answer was like, well, thank you for that. All right, next.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, all right, next question. Like, it was very, I mean, and you're summing up, Doug gave a very, like, his question had footnotes in them, like, that's how thorough he is with his work. And it was like, yep, it's good. But there is video. This was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, maybe at the Stalin Society meeting, which was great. Yeah, the Stalin Society was a thing. A comrade of mine. I am real life friends with the Stalinists. We don't care. We have our differences, but
whatever. Sure. I mean, there's Stalinists in the chat sometimes, so that's fine.
Yeah. Like, we might have a different history book, but we both have the same Union book kind of thing. Like, we know we may disagree about the past, but we both like Lenin.
I mean, Doug Green goes through extensive discussions on why people might gravitate towards something like Stalinism when he's talking about his book. It's actually a really interesting subject to get into, but we'll get into that another.
What would that be? Do you have a copy of the plug, Doug's?
I don't have it. I don't have it on me at the moment. It's actually it's stacked under another pile of books on my nightstand that I promising I'm buying more books than I can read at this point. Yeah. But we'll definitely do like a long form interview once I read Revolution Betrayed and Dialectics of Stalin, and also his other book, A Failure of Vision. It's a dissection of something Harrington. Is it Michael Harrington?
Michael Harrington.
Yeah,
the founder of the Democratic Socialists of America, DSA.
Yeah. So does he just tear the DSA a new asshole in this book or whatever?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a big background into it. It's actually, his background's interesting. I found that to be, I like a good biography on his life. It was interesting, but worked with a Catholic worker, kind of, wrote the book. What was it? Is it How the Other Half Lives? Wrote a couple of good books, and then then his history of moving further and further into the Democratic Party, and then thinking, oh, I can change it from within. There's no socialism yet, and the DSA may not be happening this time with the Democrats. I don't know. Can't even get $15 an hour minimum wage.
Next take. Oh. Shocking response from the federal government in Germany to a small inquiry made by Sevim Dagdelen and the Left Party in the Bundestag. Right-wing extremist manifestations of Ukraine historical politics. So the German federal government explicitly rejects categorizing historical groups or individuals such as Stepan Bandera, the Waffen-SS Division, Galicia, the OUN or UPA, as well as the Azov Regiment as universally right-wing, extremist, anti-Semitic, anti-Roma, or otherwise racist. All right, cool. Yeah, good job. Good job, Germany.
What?
Great job. Yeah, phenomenal stuff.
Awesome. I'm glad.
So, I mean, look, I'm glad. So is Justin Trudeau on this board? I want to know, is he in Germany spreading the word that Stephen Bandera was a patriot
like a dog.
who was on the
coward.
third front with that hunk of guy, and they were fighting somehow both sides while wearing Nazi uniforms, and participating in the Holocaust. But like, other than that, come on, wow. So that's the Azov Battalion with the did they look at the symbol of the Azov Battalion? Do they go like, I don't know, there's something there? But
yeah, it's when you're literally on camera, millions of your guys are literally in Eastern Ukraine getting Western funding, training, arming, and then they're all like, literally our policy is to exterminate all Jews and institute an ethno-national state. Everyone's like, well, they didn't say they're Nazis.
Yeah,
it's like, oh
sure,
my God.
Subhumans and stuff. Like, he used the word subhumans a lot, which is kind of weird because there's no Nazis in the Azov Battalion. That's all. And they all have swastika tattoos, and like every time I see them, like when they're captured, you can see them like they have like Nazi tattoos, which were obviously off. And then I remember some liberal was like, they put the tattoos on him. I'm like, holy shit!
Oh God!
They just gave him fresh tattoos after the trenches. Like
I never ever thought in my life, as someone who grew up watching World War II films, right? Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, like there was like a brief like renaissance of World War II epic. Like film stuff, like the Nazis were the bad guys. As far as like every war the United States has been involved in, that was like the only conflict where it's unequivocally there is a worse side than the U.S.
In the American Civil War, we backed the United States. So
I had a previous
Confederacy. That's the
I had a previous city councilor who was city councilor at large in Holyoke say something along the lines, on the basis of the Ukraine war. I had posted something about like how this guy had a tattoo that was a Nazi symbol, obviously Ukrainian, a part of the Azov battalion, and I'd said this is why we shouldn't support the war, right? This is why we shouldn't support sending arms to Ukraine. And she was like, well, like war makes strange bedfellows. And I was like, this is your take as a city councilor at large. That is phenomenal. Obviously she's liberal. But it's just a weird phenomenon when you have that, culture of like World War II films of being anti-Nazi, and then now we have this.
Critical solidarity with Hitler for resisting Anglo-imperialism.
Oh, he was just a strange bedfellow.
Yeah, look, you got to work with open Nazis. How many times have we had to work with open Nazis? Every time. Like, what? Oh my God.
So
yeah, and I swear to God, if like Vaush existed, in like 1941, yeah, he probably would unironically say critical support to Hitler. Anyway,
God, what world are we living in? This is a joke.
Everyone's lost their minds. The entire SS was close to 1 million men. The Waffen SS was an army larger than the German army. I don't think that's true. German army was fucking massive.
Yeah, it was more. It was like 8 million people.
Yeah, it was a lot. The Totenkopf SS was in charge of running the camps. German SS Polizei units were stationed with Waffen SS divisions and took care of murdering the local population. True. Not everyone in the SS was a Nazi. Wrong. Not every civilian in the Nazi party was a Nazi. And this. Oh my God! Like it really is that. Like that video was made in jest. You know the one I'm talking about, right? The German military officer walks past a guy smoking, and the guy just goes Nazi, and the guy's like, "Excuse me," like I just called you a Nazi, and he's like, "Why? Why'd you call me that? Do I look like a Nazi?" You know the one that I'm talking about. Have you seen it?
I've seen part of it, and yeah, I think I caught part of it. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Anyway, so that's what's going on.
Nazi stuff.
That was made as a joke. I think I've seen it a few years ago, and now it's like, no, it's super real. Like right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I suspect a lot of people hear SS and think about the Gestapo depicted in old movies. The Gestapo was one section of the SS.
No, it wasn't. No, it was its own thing under the SD. Like even military. I think it was it was a different division, security detachment. No, it wasn't even that. So that's right. Boy, this is a really good historian. What was this Prager University professor giving us a blowdown? All right, I love Prager U. This is good. All right, thanks Prager U. What else we got here? Holy Christ.
A significant number of people in the SS were pencil pushers, administrators. It was a massive organization. Think about the American military. Only a minority ever see combat. Yeah, American military, also bad. Also, this guy got...
the SS was known for not battle, but for its way to organize files. That was the real selling point. I mean, they basically just sat out and just, were on typewriters all day. That was...
I will take some solace that this is a Reddit screen cap.
Logo,
it's at negative 24 downvotes, so at least there's that.
Some hope. Okay.
What's next?
Ooh.
Oh, this is awesome.
Oh no. Okay.
Grab some history books, fellas, and learn what nuance is. For non-Jewish Ukrainians, Stalin was a greater danger to their survival than Hitler. Keeping Stalin out was a matter of life and death for them. When Stalin wins, sure enough, he brutally murders Ukrainians. Stalin's crimes against humanity outnumber Hitler's.
No, they don't. No. Like I don't like Stalin. Like I hate when I'm like, this is what the whole the conversation. I hate the fact that I have to inadvertently defend Hitler, not defend Stalin in a way of no. But Stalin did not kill 800 million people here. He didn't.
No, we're not defending Stalin. We're correcting the record. We are defending the Soviet Union.
Right. Hitler killed 6 million people in the Holocaust and then millions more in no, Stalin was not doing it. He was killing a lot of leaders and shit. That did happen. Dumb decisions got people killed, but no, he, the whole thing with the famine in Ukraine, that was not intentional. There was no final solution to the Ukrainian problem. Hitler had to find that was the Nazis' ideology to purposely ethnically cleanse and kill people. That was the goal. That never was Stalin's thing. That didn't happen, some of the policies were stupid and led to some bad stuff happening. Yes, but no, this was not intentional. Good God.
Cupcake Star says this is payback for me having to defend Trotsky from anti-Semitic bullshit. It's all right, cool.
Yeah, all right.
All right, we can come together over this.
Right. Right. My Stalinist friend, same thing. He's no. He's I know it's bad, but I get a lot of shit for saying Trotsky didn't work with Hitler. And it's really bad. And I'm thank you. We're like I said, we're getting there. That's it. But wow. So Stalin, who the hell's Mike? Who is this dork anyway? Mike.
I don't know. He's wearing a John D hat.
Yeah, the hat alone, I'm worried. He probably subscribes to the New Yorker. I don't trust that.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
Oh no, Vaush. Oh God.
It doesn't. Okay, why so many American Western left wingers standing on appeasement? It doesn't know. If anything, it would be reversed when it comes to foreign policy, especially recent foreign policy. Historically, America has been mostly in the right, though of course it has its own share of terrible things it's done.
I would love to know so he's saying Afghanistan and Iraq were mostly in the right, going
Vietnam,
to Iraq,
Korea.
I mean, I know. I'd like to know his history because historically, which war recently, post World War II, have we been in the right? Because Grenada, was it invading Grenada? I don't. Okay, that is my God, that is trash. My God, why did? Yeah, we're standing on appeasement. Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, that's awful.
Okay, last one I have here.
Oh, God.
Canadian Parliament gives standing ovation to actual SS member. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in a bit.
Oh, that'd be good.
This touches on an interesting bit of legal history. During the war, there were a lot of people in groups who fought on the side of the Nazis, but did not actively participate in any war crimes, the 1st Ukrainian Division being one among them. I am pretty sure that's not true.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Okay, all right. Yeah, sure. War crimes. All right.
Should they have been punished for acts they never committed? Should all the millions of people
they joined the Nazis? Yes.
Should all the millions?
This is not hard. Okay?
No, this is not difficult.
Nope.
Should all the millions of people from the dozen or so countries that fought on the side of the Nazis for one reason or another all have been prosecuted as war criminals, regardless of their actual actions?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, I'll just say the Waffen SS. Sure, yeah. I'll say the Waffen SS gets it.
It's especially like offensive. And I made this point last week. Like, if Hunka, the guy that we gave the standing ovation for, if he was actually like in the Wehrmacht and he was just some soldier. Maybe even then I don't know. I still wouldn't be 100% be okay with that.
I'd have a problem with that.
I would still have a problem with that, and that still should not be allowed.
There was no excuse.
But I could see
those times the best years of my life. Like I don't know how much more he didn't regret it. It's not like it was a terrible time for me. Like best years of his life in his journal.
Also for just the economy in the 1960s. I mean, you're a white Nazi, you're definitely probably racist. Wouldn't you think 1960s, you're not seeing war? No, this guy's a psychopath. This guy is just insane. He you could just tell. If 1940s is your favorite, something's
that's
wrong
a hell
with
of
you,
a
buddy.
time to be alive, huh? Yeah.
For a Nazi, yeah.
Yeah, I was not doing war crimes. I was fighting both sides. That was him. I bet his journal would be interesting because I'm sure he always spoke poorly of Adolf Hitler. And I'm sure he wasn't an actual Nazi because Azov Battalion has no Nazis in it. He probably wasn't even a Nazi, even though he joined a literal Nazi army voluntarily. But yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, if he was like a truck driver in the Wehrmacht. Then maybe I don't know. Who cares? Or maybe we're still
a medic.
We're still
maybe a medic. Conscript.
We're still applauding Nazi veterans. At the end of the day, we're still applauding a Nazi veteran and handing over hundreds of millions of dollars over to Ukraine so that Zelensky's wife can buy millions of dollars worth of jewelry and they can send their tanks to die within hours of hitting the front lines.
Well, it's going to very much enrich Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, the military-industrial complex, which someone gave me shit about. Is the military-industrial complex is why we have wars? It's it is. The Russian war and military war manufacture. There's people going to make money on the Russian side making bombs and selling bombs. And the NATO side, same thing. This is a very profitable, lucrative business for people who don't do the dying on the battlefield. So there's going to be a lot of people with all that money making more money off it. And Wall Street, if you invest your money in Wall Street, bomb things, you're making money. If there was a thing, you'd be probably doubling your money if you invested 15 years ago. But yeah.
Artorias Rosa just posted this one. Ignoring the fact the specific division didn't even... So this is by a guy named Watcher in the Water, labeled ultra-leftist neoliberal.
Oh, that's not even a thing.
This doesn't bode well.
I don't like the internet sometimes, this is the crap you see on the goddamn internet. So right off the jump, we're not up to a good start with this. What's this guy, the Watcher guy? Right.
Yeah, this doesn't bode
We're
well.
in trouble.
Ignoring the fact that the specific division didn't even commit any war crimes based on the available evidence, where does lending his strength to that division end? Should every single one of the tens of millions of soldiers who fought on the same side as the Nazis have been prosecuted as war criminals? What about the civilians that made their bullets? No one's talking about the civilians who made their bullets. We're talking about an SS officer.
I hate to give it to Ben Shapiro, but guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Right. And members of the 17th Waffen SS killed a lot of people in the service of Adolf Hitler. Like the volunteer division. We want to be here kind of thing. The swastika is on my arm and I'm going to go shoot Soviet people and Canadian soldiers and Americans. They fought against people that, it's just, what a weird time. You think Canada would not like someone who shot against them in a war, as being the bad guys in the Holocaust, but
we sure used definitely made use of their Nazi scientists.
Did help for Operation Paperclip.
They did.
Can't talk about that.
They came in. They came quite in handy. So, following this logic to its conclusion, almost the entirety of Europe would have to be shot as war criminals. You have to draw the line somewhere. Now, I know I have some South American comrades in chat who would be like, "Yes, let's execute all Europeans."
That's not a stance we back anymore. We've talked to Europeans. Some of them are very nice people. We're not. Very fine people in Europe. A couple of them, and
Anyway, so yes, LOL, yes, every single SS volunteer should be prosecuted as a war criminal. It's the fucking SS. The neoliberal goes, even the ones that didn't commit any crimes or help anyone commit any crimes. It's possible to both recognize the SS was immensely terrible and a criminal organization, while also recognizing that not every single one of them was involved in war crimes. That is a distinction that can be made, and that should be made if you care about justice. Scott, I'm glad this.
Bad thing they have to do.
I'm glad there's pushback in Vouch's own subreddit. No, if you volunteered for the SS, you knew who they were and what they were doing. The SS had a reputation. Again, you knew what they were doing. If you're a part of the SS, you were undoubtedly helping commit several war crimes, explicitly or implicitly. There is no getting around that, and I don't understand why you're trying to whitewash them. And you're a neoliberal Nazi too. Yes.
That was great. Exactly. That was it. You knew what they were.
Yeah.
I know he was probably a pencil pusher because apparently the entire SS, just people who move numbers on charts all day, never even picked up a gun. You know what? Yeah, that's, oh my God.
Anyway, so you probably got to get going soon, right?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah,
but this was great. I will be around in the chat. So I'll be doing witty things, but I will be doing like right now. The dog's gonna want a nice walk. It's a nice night here where I am in Massachusetts. So yes, we'll be doing it. But I will be streaming it live for every passerby to hear me. I'll be that guy streaming this awesome show in a public place because I don't care.
Yeah, I have bought Kat's book. Kat, why don't you go ahead and plug your book? Throw a link to your book again in chat. See if we can get some boost some sales in that thing.
Oh yeah, this is the book you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
this is the book. This is the book that. This is the book that I'm in.
Most read this book. See, there you go. Plug that stuff. Good. That's amazing. Wait, there was a problem with the payment because it's Canadian dollars, but I will. Oh, yep, and there's a link. All right, I'm gonna buy it now. All right, I don't care. Look, I'm gonna buy it in crypto. You take crypto? All right. I'm buying a copy. Everyone right now buy a copy. All right.
Oh yeah, it's horror for Halloween. You gotta read a little Halloween novel.
Yeah, there's the book. Everyone, look at this little cover. I do recommend it.
I will also say, Kat wrote it while working retail. Literally wasting the boss's working class hero, wasting the boss's time writing a story. So.
That is the best thing I've ever had. I stole crackers from my work. It was great. I love being bad on the clock, man.
And Kat is
not returning the napkins either. They're mine. Go ahead, try getting them.
They're at work right now watching the stream too. They say.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I need this job. I need the health insurance. I'm kidding. All right. But yes, please buy this book on my way out. I'll be around the chat. Maybe I can come back on. I don't know if you let me. But anyway, it was great chatting with everyone. Have a nice night, and I'll see you around.
Okay, thanks for stopping by, Chris.
Thank everyone.